2016 Nissan Rogue. We're gonna do some front and rear pads. We'll check the rotors out as we go. Yep, 1316s apparently. Yeah, they are. And when we put those back on, we're going to set it down on the ground, right. And then we're going to use an actual torque wrench and torque each one back to spec. Okay, we're going to inspect the rotor. Dude, this thing is smooth as glass.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't think it needed it. But...
pads aren't horrible, but we can replace them anyway since we got them. This is going to be super easy.
Okay.
So we just got to get back here, pop these two bolts off. We'll pull this out, pull your slide pins, re-grease them, put your pads on.
Okay.
Put it back in. Gonna need a few tools. Stay tuned, guys. Okay, need loosen. So these are both 14s. Pretty easy. It's one bolt. Atta girl. So since we're just gonna do pads on this, I can feel on both sides the rotor's in good shape. It's like glass. We can just pry this back, pull the old pads off, re-grease the slide pins, and then we gotta compress the caliper back in.
Okay.
So we need this tool. You'll like that. And then we need one of these.
I should figure out some way to either take that damn thing off or zip tie it up there or something. It's broken, bro.
I got zip ties in the drawer if you want.
Yeah.
Yep, okay. Go for it. They're either in the, no, they're in the cupboard above the drawer. Side repair is going on too. So just hang tight, guys. Ooh, look at that. We didn't have to pry bar that. Comes right off. We put our hook up top, so we're gonna hang this from the hook because we don't want the brake line. We don't want to hang the brake line. All right, so we got that hanging there. Did they come with new retainer clips?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Since we didn't pull the rotor off, I'm gonna rotate this from the backside so you guys get a good look at that. See that? That's a beautiful rotor, smooth as glass. Because Joe doesn't drive like me, so he don't have warped rotors either. All the way through. Yep, we're good. So this is a very, very useful tool. But you want to spread it out until it touches on the inside of the piston. There we go. So we can just do that. Some people use a C-clamp. You want to be careful if you do that. You can, as long as you have the clearance to do it. You don't want to break that piston. You break that, you're replacing the caliper. Always compress them in all the way so you know that your pads will fit because you've got more meat. And these things, when you're pushing your brakes, they conform to your pad. No, you don't have to bleed the brakes. I made that mistake several times. All right, guys, we're gonna start with new hardware first. Since it came with it, we need to put it in. So let's take out the old hardware. Basically, there's the top. So you got your spring, and then your retainer. Yep, so we'll put this bracket back in place. Let's take the bottom one off. Keep a bunch of these on hand. They're like one of the best 8mm tools. They work great for C-clamps too. Like every C-clamp I've ever used, 4-way. Really? Yeah, because I don't like using the screw bit. I like using that side. Usually your bigger ones are that, and that's an 8. I think this is like a 1/4, so the smaller ones are like that. Life hack. There we go. Just get a flathead in there and ease it up nice and carefully. So again, we'll do the same thing, put it back in the same way.
Other side, probably.
Well, no, there's 2 of them, so there should be one for each side.
Oh. Maybe.
All right, guys, you know what time it is? Oh, yeah. Put the back side, too. Try not to touch it. You're probably going to do this again after you put the pads on. But we want to make sure it's clean. These pads, both of these pads are the exact same. Ah, I see. So it goes like that against it when it gets down to that far part. Might have to slip these behind. Yeah, so okay. So you're gonna have to slip them behind the spring. So I'm gonna come around this way and we're gonna try that again. Pull that spring back.
Yeah, I gotta get that over here too. Do you have any trouble with the transmission shifting? No. Okay. Yeah, see, it only happens if you stop and start a lot. So I don't know what is causing that. But if you're just driving,
We're good. Let's grease these slide pins. So just pull them from the, look at that. See that? Always grease these. Without this, you're not going to get the movement of the caliper piston and the caliper back and forth to get proper braking. So we'll clean it off
damage.
like so. So that went on the bottom and that went on the top. Give it the shmoo. Back in the top. Make sure this boot goes back over that little ridge. Very important, you're gonna keep that grease on the inside in. Grease your slide pins. Ooh, that one liked it. Ridiculous. So we'll take our caliper back off. Put it back on. Push your slide pins in a little bit so you can clear it. Now remember, do not go crazy and feed in these bolts. Hand screw them in like that. So again, hand feed it. Don't ever send it until you know the threads are good. And you can just hand tighten it all the way. Don't impact send it back into place either. Horrible idea. It's great for taking it off, no good for torque. Just use your ratchet. Give it tight. You don't have to torque that either, just tighten it real good. And don't go like, you know, extra tight. That's fine. So we're good on that side. We'll get the tire back on. We'll start on the other. All right, guys, you saw the other side. We'll probably end up doing this one in super high speed motion. Sides. I don't want to hit you, Joe. I mean, you can get the video, I don't care.
or something?
All right, guys, we're on the right rear. This is gonna be the fun one. The front ones are the easiest side. The rear ones usually require a special caliper tool to press the spring back in because of the emergency brake. If you want to do them one at a time, go for it, but you're just going to waste your time going up and down the lift. It's just better to do it all at once. The back has a warning indicator on the bottom right side though. I can see that over here. Your rear rotors still have a decent glaze. I don't physically feel any warpage.
Right.
And I don't see any horrible marks at all. So on this, you guys can see that part. There's an e-brake drum on the inside. This is the drum, and then there's an e-brake on the inside of it. So direction. Whoops, sorry, Joe. Oh, we're going up. Wait. Step right on your foot. You didn't step all the way though.
Right.
All right, guys, we're gonna grab an end wrench real quick. So I'll go grab one of those. And then we're gonna grab this guy. We don't have to, but I want to. Boom. Makes your job easier. That's the bottom.
I'm coming.
Ah, okay, so rotate it up like that, and then pull it out. Yes, it will.
Yeah. Yes, it will. Oh, it is.
Boom, life hacks.
Those look like brand new. Who knows? So.
Cool. Oh, look at them cute little pads.
Yeah, I know. I was like, these are like brake pads.
Yeah.
Oh.
So again, guys, that warning indicator, when your pad gets down to that level, it'll start touching your rotor. When it makes that noise, replace your pads or plan to. Do not keep driving. I've done that.
Emotional damage.
Let's rotate. You guys can clearly see that is like a perfect surface. Just like the front. So we're good there. So we're gonna clean the rotor off. And then we're gonna do it back here, left-handed. That's good. We're gonna have a look at this caliper, and I'm gonna look and see. Oh, we got lucky. Okay, can you see that? That caliper looks like the other one on the other side. If it required a special tool, it would be flat with a couple of lined marks, and we would use that tool. But since I think because it has an e-brake built into the inside of the rotor here, we can just use our caliper depressing tool and put it right back in. All right, so hopefully we can use this tool in there. Yep, fits. Loosen. Again, you want to place it in there so it's real tight against that caliper pins.
I'll just sit over here with the slide. Nobody doesn't get it.
Some of the back rotors are nice, and you can do this. Some of them have that special tool. You guys saw the Ford 500 video, I'm assuming. If not, I can put a link in the description, kind of show you how that tool works. Okay, then we put it back to loosen. Set our caliper back up here. We'll get our brakes back in. These clips are actually pretty simple. Why are there are all kinds of clips in here, so I'm not really sure. let's take one out and we're gonna compare it. Just press on the side, careful of the rotor. Okay, so we're just comparing to make sure they're the same, and then we put it back in. I recommend you just do this one at a time.
This is the way.
Same thing with the top. This comes with several different sets because I saw different sizes, but you want them to match. So just match them up. So the back pads have a warning indicator on one pad, and the other pad is completely clear and free. Your warning indicator on the passenger side goes over here, and the other pad that's blank goes on this side. I'm assuming we'll verify that it's going to be the same for the other side as well. Guess we'll put that dust cover back on when we feel like it. Warning indicator. Yep. And then non-warning indicator on that side.
Do it.
Schmoozer. This is the bottom one. I've come to find out that these little black retainer rings in here are on all the bottom pins that I've taken out of calipers. Now you know. Knowing is half the battle.
And then,
So remember how we took this out? Came out like this. Rotate your caliper this way. I don't know why, but that's just the way we're gonna do it. Then put it back in. I'm sure there's probably an easier way. Then we'll put that back over it.
and then of course the tire that went flat was the one that was welded on.
Right?
So don't ever do that.
No. There's a right way and apparently their way.
Emotional damage.
Too, guys. I learn every time I work on something.
I'm gonna ever do it.
Well,
Like I said,
ah, boy.
you're the mechanic.
I mean, DIY.
Me.
Coined the catchphrase. I could have used the other wrench on that, but you can't on this one. These don't have to be like super tight, but they need to be on there good. That's pretty good. I should have named my show Toe Thumb Mechanic. Sometimes we're gonna give it an extra. I got some shit.
Well, you should name it like I'm not a mechanic.
That's what the DIY part is.
That's what all these videos about.
All right, guys, we'll get the tire back on this side again, and we'll start the other side. Okay, so what's this? Oh, no. Okay, we're gonna see if it leaks. Pulling it out. Nope.
No. Oh.
You just got the tip.
Oh.
Giggity.
That's what she said.
So we're good. If it does leak though, Joe,
Right.
if you don't have them,
Okay.
we can,
We can patch it.
or you can just
We
be
can
like,
plug
hey,
it
bring
in
it over
again.
real quick and
But,
I'll
yeah.
plug her. So, okay, back to the other side. All right, guys, we're gonna rip this one off. I mean, gently take it off. Oh, right, we need the bigger Douglas. Rigid, their octane are like they're actually pretty comparable on the torque test channel with Snap-on.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But the DeWalt, the new DeWalt that you got,
Right.
if it is the one I think it is, the heavy duty one, it actually does beat the Rigid.
Oh, does it?
Mm-hmm. And Rigid's the cheaper brand.
Right. I need to. I'm probably gonna use it to take the back tires off my Camaro so I can put the lights in.
You better get a torque wrench, dude.
The torque wrench?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have.
Most of them are 100 foot-pounds.
Okay.
Go to Harbor Freight and spend like 20 bucks and get one.
Oh, okay.
Super cheap.
Yo, Joe! We'll fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe is there. G.I. Joe, American hero. G.I. Joe is there. It's G.I. Joe against Cobra, the enemy, fighting to save the day. He never never gives up. He's always there, fighting for freedom over land and air. G.I. Joe! G.I. Joe there!
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained Special Mission Force. Its purpose, to defend human freedom against Cobra, a ruthless terrorist organization determined to rule the world.
He never gives up, he'll stay till the fight's won. G.I. Joe will dare. G.I. Joe! G.I. Joe!
Whatever it is.
Cool. Let's bring it down.
I could get, I do have a mobile.
Cool. So we want to go 85 on the torque. You go in a star pattern. Then we recheck it. And you don't have to go in a star pattern when you recheck it. People do, but you don't. We're good. Let's go to this side. Do the same thing. Okay. She's a shaker. Passenger side. No, that's not this one. Here we go. Last side. Would help if I had a level floor in here, but that's fine. Look at what you got.
Not a concrete guy. I would almost just do the black asphalt coating. Fill all these holes in. You don't even gotta level it. You gotta level it and then put it over the top. Faster.
We're good. Time for the test run. Yeah, you can. So what you want to do is you want to start the car, recalibrate those calipers by pressing the brakes a few times until it kind of feels like it did before when you were driving. Then you go out on the run. We'll break them in. 115,000 miles on the odometer, not bad. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a series of braking events. We're gonna go 15 twice and go to a complete stop. Then we're gonna go 25 and 35, and they should be pretty well seated at that point. So, got my camera guy. All right. So we're right about 15, and we're gonna come to a complete stop, just gently. You don't slam on the brakes. Firm but gentle. And we'll do it one more time. Firm but gentle. You see guys slam on the brakes, that's not how you do it. It's a good way to ruin rotors and brakes. We haven't hit 25 yet, so we're gonna have to turn the corner. So you are 25 now. one's 35. You almost have to cut through intersections to get that fast. And stop. Okay, here comes the fun one. We got to really hit the gas right through here. .35. Again, we're not slamming on the brakes, but we're gently yet firmly pushing to stop. So we'll turn the corner and do it one more time. Need a little bit of room for this, so you can either try to go out on the highway and do it, and try not to come to a complete stop until you do all three braking events if you can avoid it. Let's see. Okay. Right. Not quite. Now. Okay. Everything's good, guys. I think we made it. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.